I'm excited to share with you this information. I am a newborn caregiver by profession. So, what that means is generally I come into the home after the baby's born and I help in every which way possible. I make sure that the baby's cared for, I make sure that mommy's cared for, and I look forward to staying with the family anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 months. It just depends on how long we've, said we're going to be together. Now, what I wanted to let you guys know and the tips that I have for you as mommies that are at home now, as mommies that may not have any care and support such as myself during this newborn stage, is first and foremost is scheduling. So that's tip number one, if you're writing it down, is scheduling. I know some mommies are going to jump up and down at me and say, oh, I don't have a schedule. I just go by, when the baby wakes up or not. As soon as the baby is born, my theory and my professional opinion on it has been to get babies on a schedule. Every 2 to 3 hours, baby should be changed, fed, and put back to bed. We're talking about 0 to 3 months, thereabout. I'm not saying until they're 1 year old you're doing the same thing. However, some of the things will be similar. For 0 to 3 month olds, they eat approximately every 2 hours, and that feeding time takes anywhere from 10 minutes to about an hour, depends on how the baby has latched or depends on if the baby's bottle fed. So those are very important, I think, to get them started, is the scheduling. Make sure you have a schedule, because if you don't have a schedule, then you will not know when it's time for you to actually get a shower or when it's time for the baby to be eating. You won't know if the baby's just hungry or if the baby wants the bottle or if the baby wants to be changed, because it's just helter-skelter, if you would. So my biggest tip that I've taught with all my moms, that I've taught with all the babies that I've ever worked with, is getting on a schedule. Every 2 to 3 hours, preferably in the first 0 to 3 months. As the babies are here longer, they will stay awake longer. So with 3 to 6 months and 6 to 9 months, they're going to stay awake for longer than an hour, hour and a half in between their feeds. So then you'll start to incorporate more activities. But definitely for newborns, every 2 to 3 hours, they're eating either on the breast or at the bottle, and schedule that time so that you would know, okay, I can go brush my teeth now. Okay, I might be able to get a nap now. Or you know what? I might sit and stare in space for the time that the baby naps. But that is extremely important, I believe, for the baby to start to know the difference between day and night once they're scheduled to sleep the shorter periods in the daytime, and once they've gotten their weight turned around to sleep longer in the night. That will help you so much. So set up a schedule for the newborns. Now, tip number 2 is consistency. And sometimes people think scheduling is tied hand in hand with consistency. But what I will tell you is consistency just means doing the same thing every day, so that the baby gets used to some type of consistency, and so that you as a parent get used to some type of consistency, that okay, there's a relief coming, or there's time to do something different. If you're consistent in the things that you do with babies, with newborns, up to at least a year old, they will learn a schedule. They will learn to be almost on the clock. And I know that might sound regimented. However, trust me, it builds discipline for them later on, because when they're babies, they can't really tell you, except by their cries, what's happening with them. So consistency will help you to see what's working and what's not. If you're consistently feeding them every 2 to 3 hours, and at an hour and a half, the baby's screaming, then you can determine if it needs to be cut down as far as time and consistency, or they need to be changed more frequently. So consistency is going to be key in the beginning when you're home with a newborn. And if you have support, that's amazing. If you have a live-in support, that's wonderful. That's my specialty. However, if you're a mom at home, which is also what I am when I am at home, as we are right now due to this COVID-19 crisis, I keep consistency for me and my children that are older now. They are 11, 10, 9, and 7. So yes, I've also had to implement these strategies with my own children, and I also professionally do them with newborns outside the house. So that's tip number 2 is consistency. Tip number 3 is a delivery service. Is tip number 3 if you're writing it down. A delivery service. Right now, getting to have help as far as maids or laundry or things like that may not be the best thing because people aren't coming to homes per se. However, delivery for groceries is a huge deal. Delivery for the things that you would normally go out for that you can get at home, whether it be an Amazon membership or something like that, you can definitely do during this time. A lot of places are delivering via Instacart, so you don't have to take your newborn out of self-quarantine to go to the store if you don't have a husband or a significant other or a grandma or a friend that's quarantined with you, and you end up being a single parent and you have to take your child out. Right now, delivery services, and they're not that costly when you think about the benefits at this time, because your baby's schedule is in the beginning. You're developing that. You're developing a schedule for yourself. You're developing consistency for yourself, especially for the first time mommies. So having a delivery service at this point may be an option for you. So that's my tip number 3, because I know some of us don't even think about that. We want to do everything ourselves and, we want to be super mommies. Trust me, there's no judgment on my channel. There's no guilt. You will be a great mom, even if you choose to have the groceries delivered during this time. It's not going to take any sweat off of your brow. It's just going to help. Okay. And tip number 4 is dealing with the blues. That is huge. Maybe it should have been tip number 1, but I did want to make sure that I got it in there. So the tips don't have to be in order. They just have to be completed, I think. Now, dealing with the blues. Baby blues are going to happen. They may be consistent for you. You may not have baby blues at all. However, recognize that it's a possibility. And if it does happen, start to learn yourself as a new parent or as a recurring parent what makes your blues come on. What that means is you might start looking at your baby and be weepy and be like, oh my gosh, she's not a baby anymore. And oh, it's a month has gone by. And it starts to feel a little strange for you. Only you know your body. Your support system around you knows you to a certain extent. You know how you're feeling. You know what it feels like with the baby near. You know what it feels like with the baby away from you. So you can determine when your emotions are changing, when your hormones are shifting, when the baby's ready to eat. You will know all of those cues. Trust me, you will get them. You'll get them physically. You'll get them emotionally. However, you have to be extremely mindful of if those blues start to feel like overbearing, start to feel like I don't want to have my baby near me. I don't want to touch my baby. I feel like I could, stab someone with a fork right now. Trust me, those things happen. What you can do at that stage is definitely seek help. Take the baby to their crib, put the baby in the bassinet, whatever your choice of sleeping arrangements are in the beginning, and step away. Have your husband take over if you're married. Have your significant other take over if you're not. Have your support system that's already in place take over if you feel that you want to do harm, or if you feel that you want to do harm to yourself. That's extremely important, and that needs to be said. However, for the majority of us, the blues are just, oh, I'm weepy all the time. I don't know if my baby's getting enough food. Are my breasts full enough? Am I being able to sustain my baby? Is my baby gaining weight? Oh my goodness, I don't want to take the baby outside, even though the backyard right now is acceptable. Um, oh, my hair starts to shed. What's happening? Am I losing all my hair? These are normal type things that will happen after birth with a newborn or a recurring child. However, I did want to point out to make sure to pay attention to what type of blues you have. It can be minor. I don't want to be bothered right now. Put the baby down, walk away. If it gets extreme, please seek help. I can't stress that enough. And you will know your body. So don't let whoever your support system is around you say, oh, that'll pass. If you feel a sense inside that something is really going on that you cannot regain your composure, regain your control over, then definitely you'll need help for that. So I did want to make sure that I mentioned all of those. I'm looking at my notes just to make sure I get you guys everything that I had said. Definitely, I am a believer in therapy. Some of my moms or some of the people that I have worked with do not subscribe to the therapy notion, but I'm just saying, if at all you feel it's necessary for you, talk to someone. It may be just your best friend that ends up being your temporary therapist for the time, not a clinical professional. However, speak to someone about what you're feeling when it comes to the newborns, when it comes to the babies. I say a lot of the word newborn because that is my specialty. However, I'm also a parent of children that are older, so I have the gamut of a range. Just keep yourself, and this is a tip that is, you can put it down as number 5, or you can just overall it in everything. Your top priority is to keep baby and you alive, okay? And thriving and happy. So laundry to the side. Oh, you have to cook dinner right now because you want a specific meal? Have somebody else do it. Oh, my nails got chipped. Brush it with a quick file and, get back to making sure your self-care and your health is first. That is priority number 1, is you and baby are well. So the next installment, I know you guys love these tips. I know you'll love them. I know you'll find them helpful. And if there's anything that you want to see more of from me, just put it in the comments. Leave it in the comments below, and I'll make sure I look at that and get them to you as fast as I can. Every Thursday, I'm releasing videos about 2ish, so you'll have the opportunity to see the tips. The next installment is going to be about activities at home with children, activities with newborns, activities with older children. So just tune in next week and you'll be able to get that video. Also, I wanted to say, when you have a newborn, it's so beautiful. When you have an older child, it's so exciting. All of these stages are so wonderful, and I am looking forward to growing through them and sharing them with all of you guys, my tips, as I grow this channel. So please subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notified when the new videos come out. And Thursdays at 2ish, they will be released. All right. And I'll talk to you all again soon. Life awfully simple. Follow me on all my handles. Have a great, great day.